Hey Keith, what's up? Jim Greaseover, Fight Vibe. We talked the other day at the press conference, and did our interview, about all the time off, 3 fights in 5 years, the surgeries, the stuff you went through mentally. How good does it feel right now, man, to have been in there and move the way you move, connect with your punches the way you did, and just to mentally know that you didn't lose anything, man. You're back to being you again. How's that feel?
Well, we felt pretty good in camp. I was telling people, you got to get the ring rust off in preparation, man. So I was moving and shaking and trying to groove and get my movement back. You guys saw some of the story. I've been doing more yoga. Yoga is beneficial for inside and outside of the ring, but inside of the ring is bringing more mobility. At the age of 33, a lot of y'all are older than me. Y'all know what your body's been through, and you're not even a high-performing athlete like me, right? We suffered these injuries and gone through things. So at the end of the day, I know so much about sports science. For me not to implement it, it's just straight ignorance. So that's why I said there's one modality that I haven't done yet. I really need to jump on that. There's one other modality, to be honest, like high altitude training. I am debating about getting into that. So I just want to stay mobile, stay moving. I know I'm very crafty, and I think that's what's gonna help me in the future of this welterweight division.
What about mentally? We talked about what you went through and how you overcame, but the mental toughness it takes to be an elite athlete is incredible anyway. But with everything you went through, can you talk about what that is for you to have this and to know when nobody else maybe around you is even thinking the same things you're thinking?
So I'll open up, man, and it was challenging even being here in Las Vegas. Mario Barrios and me both were in a very interesting predicament this fight. We're both coming off of losses. How confident can a man feel knowing that he was stopped in his last fight, knowing that I lost in front of thousands and thousands of fans in my last fight? How much confidence can two warriors really bring into the ring? If we're honest with ourselves, there's going to be that little voice that says, hey, you were just beaten. Hey, what happens if you can't do what you want to do? And I heard that voice leading up to this week. Is Keith Thurman really back? And I just said, look, man, you've been working hard, you've been moving well, you're very smart. It was a marginal loss. It wasn't a real negative, even though it was negative, even though I felt a lot of negative emotions afterwards. Enough time has gone by. The lack of activity can be looked at as a negative too. But for me, I turned it into a positive because it's allowed me to mentally get over a lot of the BS, man, and tell that voice, you are a champion. My new T-shirt right here, it says "Be good." That's what we were today. It says "Be great." That's what we will be tomorrow. This is "Be a champion," and that's in our near future. So this is what I'm manifesting. Today you saw a good Keith Thurman. You're going to see a great Keith Thurman, and you're going to see the champion once again.
Thank you.
Keith, over here. Muhammad Mubarak with the Electronic Urban Report. Excuse me. How does it feel? Does it feel real good to be back after the long layoff? To be back on stage and under the lights and put your hands in the air?
To be honest, it felt great from the moment we were waiting to walk out into the ring. Just seeing the fans, seeing their reaction, seeing all the anticipation, being the main event tonight. There was such a nostalgic feeling to the whole process. Like I said, from just being backstage with my team, it's been so long. Yet, Carlos, I haven't seen Carlos in so long. But when we get back together, this is family, man. This is just how we do it, and it just feels like a great blessing. So then we walk out into the ring, then we walk up into the ring. And I took the time, y'all saw me. I took the time before stepping in the ring. I took a look around. We're back, like you said, under the bright lights. I got in the ring. I felt the ring underneath me. I'm feeling the gloves in my hands, these small gloves. This is not a sparring match. This is a fight. And I have a formidable opponent across from me who trained very hard, very, very young, athletic individual. And it just felt great. Putting myself on the line once again, living this life of a world-class fighter as a warrior. And then even after the fight was over, we know we had a good performance. My team and I, we were confident that we walked away with a victory today, but even that final step of them holding my hand up in the air, you know, because that didn't happen 2.5 years ago. So I tell people all the time, Keith one-time Thurman wears red, white, and blue because I'm living my all-American dream. I started boxing at the age of 7, and I wasn't the best. I used to get beat up in the sport, day after day after day after day. Okay? When you're 7 years old, it's easy to get beat up. When you're 9 years old, it's easy to get beat up. When you're 10, 11, and 12 years old, it's easy to get beat up. Even when I was 14 years old, you know, they would just put me in with Andre Berto to beat me up, you know? So at the end of the day, coach always could make a phone call, we can go to a gym and get me beat up, you know? And I tell people all the time, I got my butt whooped, and now I have the right to kick ass. And it's just a beautiful thing to be living this dream of mine. I love the sport of boxing. I just love it inside and out. It's more than a fight. It's a very sweet science. I call it the beautifully brutal sport. We saw what happened to Mario today. His nose, his eyes, and everything he endured. I had to endure punches. We were trading. We were just real fighters in the ring. I really hope you guys enjoyed what happened tonight. It was a beautiful night of boxing, and I look forward to having more great fights. This is what Keith Thurman is about, creating exciting fights in the welterweight division today.
All right, final question.
And Keith, Sean Patel fight night, great job tonight, man. You already touched on the Crawford fight. If Spence Ugas, you know, is offered next, the winner of that fight, do you feel ready, good to go for that fight, or do you feel like one more fight in between then would be ideal? Or let's do it.
Yeah, that's such a really good question. You know, because the fighter in me says, "Give it to me, let's go. I want to be champion. I want the winner." You know, but there's a weird little technicality that happened, you know, for some of those who read the article, that this was like a title eliminator to a title eliminator. I don't know the politics all the time, man. I'm just a performer. I do believe that I should be worthy of challenging any world champion at any given point in time, considering my resume and everything that has happened in my career. But it does feel very good to just be back. So if I have to take another fight and just keep, like I said, going from being good to being great to being a champion, then so be it. You know, I'm so happy to be back. I want to do what I haven't done in the past 2.5 years. Keith Thurman does want to be an active fighter. So we have to go back, talk to our team, see what's brought to the table through the networks, through Al Heyman, and just go with the flow, man. I just really want to have a more active year. I want to have more performances for the fans. I want to have more performances for myself. But no matter what, if it happens this summer, if it happens back in November and December, Keith Thurman is on the road to being champion in the welterweight division once again.
Well, thank you so much, Keith. It was great to finally have you back after your 2.5-year layoff. And now you are looking forward to a very busy 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Keith one-time Thurman, victorious over Mario Barrios here from Mandalay Bay.